As humans, we crave success, which in return gives us happiness and fulfillment. The rise of older, non-traditional students on college campuses proves there is no age limit to achieving success. Federal data and university enrollment reports show a steady increase in non-traditional students. In fact, college campuses such as Ohio State confirm this rising trend. The National Center for Education Statistics also report over a decade of enrollment data that shows a rise in students aged 35 and older, with a slight decline over the past years. However, the data only accounts for degree-granting institutions and still reports a 10% increase by the year 2031. Let's take a closer look at this trend and the adults who are breaking the stereotypes, what motivates them, the challenges they face, and the benefits they bring to their cohort.
This is my thing for myself, not for anybody else. For my health, for my mind, everything is about myself.
Program 60, it's a state initiative for Ohio residents who have lived in Ohio for 1 full year or more to come take classes at Ohio State, either the Columbus or any of the regional campuses.
My friends make fun of me because they said, we just can't imagine you dancing ballet, which is not an easy dance to learn from, because when you see ballet, you see all young people. You don't see old people. So this is the traditional mindset. They cannot imagine an older person my age dancing.
Lifelong learning should be a mission for everyone. It's great for the instructors and the students in the classes, again, because they're getting those unique perspectives, and having a classroom where people are different ages, just diversity of all kinds, only brings about better learning.
I've had a few Program 60 students in the dance department, and especially having 2 in this class, it's honestly been really nice to see that you can continue dancing at any point. And it's also nice to see that a big university like Ohio State still has opportunities and programs for people to get involved in.
This semester I'm taking flamenco, but I said, if I learn everything a little bit new every time, I'm going to repeat the class. What do I have to lose? It's exercises to me.
It's a beautiful challenge that she brings. She reminds them to not take for granted certain aspects of physicality.
I have lower back pain. So if I drop like a pen on the floor, I have to get up, hold onto the table, and kneel down if I can pick it up. Now I can do 90 degrees.
In some ways, she becomes a secondary teacher because it's almost the litmus test. If Chris is doing it, there's no reason why you can't do it.
When I was in the Marine Corps, I had a traumatic brain injury, and I unfortunately had another one during a bike race. So that was really the impetus that made me want to come back. It was, getting through that traumatic brain injury, but then coming back to Ohio State to prove to myself that I can do this. I may have difficulties in some areas, but I can do it.
Our Military and Veterans Office was established about 11 years ago. It's one of the first offices in the nation to stand up and start serving this set of non-traditional students. About 2 years after that, the state of Ohio thought it was really important too, and the state of Ohio passed a law that said every college and university in the state had to have a single point of contact for military-connected students and veteran students. So we can take really as many as the university would like to enroll and admit. We've tracked those numbers for about 10 years. We've dropped a little bit over the last few years. Some of that is the COVID impact, but what we have seen is an increase in the amount of military family members who are entering higher education. And many of those students are non-traditional students as well. Those are typically spouses.
When we talk about diversity in the classroom, I think age is a great component of diversity.
I graduated from Ohio State in 1980 with a degree in political science. I'd always told myself that I would stay in school for the rest of my life if I could. I guess I probably meant that.
Having people from different backgrounds, different ages, different life experiences is a reason for enrichment.
And so I talked to my instructor and I said, well, since this class is only offered once a year, I'm planning on ditching a 4-week vacation in Italy to take this class. Corruzione giudiziario scandalo. But in language classes, you're expected to pretty fully participate. But I make certain goals for myself. I try to do all the homework, all the projects.
They seem even more eager, even more interested. You see them being always willing to come. They reach out to you before classes start. They come to all the office hours. They email you more. And I think it's because it's their own choice. Like, they make it more than just, credit requirements.
I just wanted to show the people in Italy that I am willing to do a little bit to kind of get into their culture and be a good tourist, be a good American, and learn about them and have learned some of their language.
In the last year, we've seen the numbers increase. So this fall, we actually have 409 participants, which is the second highest number of fall participants we've had. And we've seen a steady increase, a little bit of dip during COVID, as many programs experienced. But we've seen a steady climb since then and an increase in in-person classes.
It is wonderful to have another program 60 student in the class. Appreciate their perspective, appreciate having the camaraderie of having somebody else that is taking the course for a different reason than the other students are.
Lei non scrive in inglese e poi una persona italiana.
We decided that I wanted at some point to travel to Italy, and why not start a new language?
We do have P60 participants. Some of them don't have higher ed experience. So this may be their first college university course they've taken. We have some people who've done multiple PhDs. So there is a really broad range of familiarity with how classrooms work and how courses work.
Perché anche io sono andata.
The technology was a challenge at first, understanding how to enroll, how to select classes. It wasn't insurmountable, but it certainly wasn't intuitive for me.
When I was in college, we didn't have Carmen Canvas. You turned in papers on paper. It took a little bit to get on board with the technology here.
All my devices, every single device has changed. New phone, new iPad, new laptop, new everything.
It's hard. It's hard working and going to school and doing all this together. And unfortunately, sometimes people don't get that. We're doing this. We're working during the day. We come here at night till 10 o'clock at night, and then we wake up the next day and do it all over again.
Charles Anderson, who's the chairman of the department, he said, I cannot believe it, because I showed him some video, what I've done. He said, at your age doing this, I am impressed. And he said, if we can teach you how to dance, we can teach anybody. He said, you are our poster child of the department. And I looked at him, I said, Charles, I'm too old to be a poster child. I should be the poster grandmama here, not the child.
We've heard from instructors that our P60 participants are contributing a lot to the courses, and we've had feedback from other students in the class, traditional or non-traditional age, that P60 participants bring a lot of experience and different viewpoints to the class, that it enriches it for them.
It's really cool when my professors actually say, hey, tell us your perspective because we know you lived it.
A couple of classes where the professor has asked, Gail, please explain this reference to the class. I was like, okay. It's hard to convey the importance of those events to somebody who hasn't experienced them. And I did my best, but sometimes every generation has to live their own history, and that's what's important for them.
It is a challenge seeing some of the generational differences.
I'm sure some things never change, the people in the Oval preaching and other things going on, but I mean, I'll never get used to walking into a classroom
of 30 people and it's dead silence. They're all sitting there on their phones. It's just, I don't know, they have their earbuds in. So you can't really start up a conversation.
When I first went to college, it was about, being able to have the discussion in the classroom about anything. And I think that's what's a little bit different now. You're not really able to have some raw discussions in the classroom because it's almost taboo.
It sometimes is a challenge to understand what the other students are saying because they talk so indistinctly and softly. Like if they say it really softly, they can take it back or they don't have to commit themselves.
It's always interesting being the oldest person in the classroom. Sometimes people think you're invisible or, they just don't really, they don't want you on their team or, you don't necessarily fit in. And, you get used to that.
I don't care. It's my life, my health, my enjoyment. Who cares what people say?
Part of the benefit of increasing the diversity, and again, race, ethnicity, geographic location, neighborhood, the benefit of increasing that for P60 is not just for the participants and their experience and the folks in the classroom, the instructors and more traditional age students, but also I think it's great for modeling.
Humility, drive, and consistency, it's literally what we want all of our students to have.
So I would say just to slow down and maybe ask yourself what you're doing here and think about what you want your future to look like, because you have that in your control.